Hey everyone, this is Josh with Josh Wright Piano TV. Today's video segment is all about pedaling, and it's in response to two different video requests this week. One from Anne and one from Hussein. I hope I'm saying that right. And pedaling in itself is an art. There's a lot of different books written solely about pedaling. I would definitely recommend checking some of those out. And so today we're just going to go over some basics about when we should pedal. Hassan's question was about at what point in the music should I be changing the pedal and where should I be holding it down, so I'll address that. And then Anne's question was about a subject called syncopated pedal, which gets a little bit more complicated, but really helps us to smooth out our pedaling and make it really unnoticeable to the audience where we're changing our pedal. So I'm just going to take a really old hymn called Amazing Grace just to show basics of where we want to change the pedal. We always want to change the pedal when there is a harmony change. So for example, if you just listen to this E flat major chord, which is the key that I'll be playing this piece in, I could play as many E flat major chords as I want, and I never really need to change the pedal. But as soon as I introduce a chord that is a harmony difference, it gets really muddy. And so I would say, let's just go through this piece and let's figure out where we're going to want to pedal. So I threw in a little bit of jazz chords in there as well. So right here we have our first pedal. Change right there because that goes to B flat major. A flat major we're going to change. And then we're going to change back when we go to the E flat major. Now when we're changing rapidly, when we're going like when there's just a passing tone, so like we are not going to need to change on that F, even though that would be a part of this other chord. We would want it to continue on, and we want the pedal to be seamless. So it's okay for passing tones and neighboring tones to be included in the same pedal, but we don't want huge harmony changes to be included in that pedal. So once again, change. I kind of like just a really clean sound right there. Change right there, change. Okay, so that kind of gives a basic when we should pedal, whenever the harmony changes. Another thing is when the texture's changing, we kind of want to change the pedal as well. I'm going to go into something a little bit deeper here. It's called a flutter pedal. Flutter pedal is when we rapidly change our pedal multiple times in order to clear the sound gradually. The example that I'm going to play is from Ondine, from Gaspard de la Nuit, by Maurice Ravel. And we see a flutter pedal, and it's just marked with a lot of different pedal changes. So see, so on that line right there, I'm changing the pedal a bunch of times once I get up to this high G. So watch one more time. Change, 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 change. Because then it clears the sound out for the next phrase. So there we have the basics of pedaling and a flutter pedal. The far left pedal you'll often see is called una corda. The reason is because in the older pianos, you'll notice that when you press that down, the keys shift slightly to the right. In old pianos, it used to shift so far that you were only playing on one string. The hammers would only hit one string. Thus, una corda, or one chord, comes from that pedaling technique that it would only strike one chord. In modern pianos, it strikes two chords. And that, the far left pedal just gives us a nice, softer tone, and it's really nice for Chopin nocturnes. And so I'm going to kind of incorporate that into my response to Anne's question about sostenuto pedal. The sostenuto the syncopated pedal. So the syncopated pedal is a technique of pedaling where we make seamless pedal changes. So, for example, a lot of players will have choppy pedal. So I'm just going to use the E minor Chopin Nocturne, Opus 72, number 1, to demonstrate here. So, for example, if we had choppy pedal changes, this is what it would sound like. And for a lot of beginning players, that is a really hard thing to overcome. The things I always share with my students is that syncopated pedal means that we're pedaling on the beat. So rather than pedaling right before the measure so we have a clean start to the measure, you'd think that's what we'd want, but we're actually cutting off the sound if we do that. If we change right before the measure starts, we want to change immediately after the first note of the measure. So for example, here we have our first. Now if you watch my feet right here, I'm actually going to play this and then change the pedal. And then right here I'm going to change again. See, when I press the note down, then my pedal comes up, rather than the note and the pedal going up and down together. Because if the note and the pedal come up and down together, this is what happens. We get that choppy sound. So we need the pedal to actually bleed through to that next first note, and then we do a pedal change. So change, change. You might want to add soft pedal here for a nice texture. And I would take the soft pedal off right here. So we can see that syncopated pedal means we change on the beat right after that note rather than before the beat or pedaling down with the note. I hope this video has been helpful. Any other questions about pedaling, please email me at josh@joshwrightpiano.com, and I'd be happy to do a video segment on that or any other musical questions that you have. Just to end with, I want to play this first page one more time of this Nocturne, and I'm going to depress the soft pedal all the way down to the place where we just ended there, and I'm really going to project that melody. I just want to expose a texture that can be achieved. What we want to do is really project, and Rubinstein actually talked about this a bit, who is one of the most famous players of Chopin, and he talked about holding the soft pedal down throughout most of the Nocturne, but really projecting those notes. So here I'm going to apply all the things I've taught in this video. I'm going to hold down this left pedal. I'm going to really make sure my syncopated pedal is working well for me. So